They're a good bunch out here. I'm glad Trump's here at the moment. It's like Daddy arrived and he's taking his belt off. So I think.
Listen, and maybe you'll learn something. I know you're making all your money from the Chinese Communist Party via TikTok. I get that.
And Dave is making his money from the Russians. Right, we understand. Right,
dude, shut the fuck up. Piers, this kid is an embarrassment.
I've gotten under.
You're listening. Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time. Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters, the only show that really wishes they hadn't taken the under in the NFC Championship game. As always, I am Christian Bladt, and look right there, it's my buddy EZ. How are you doing today, Eric Zane?
Never better, because you may notice what appears to be some type of work on the wall behind me. I am working on the door that was kicked in quite some time ago.
Many years
I don't
ago,
have enough
correct?
work done to show you how that looks, but I'm actually cleaning things up around here.
Well, we do want to shout out before we even get started. In the chat, we see Jack Sampson became a YouTube member, and we, of course, invite all of you to subscribe on YouTube to Who Are These Podcasts or join the Patreon, where you will get bonus episodes like today, 5 p.m. Eastern, a bonus episode covering the Mud Shark. So who doesn't want to check out the Mud Shark, Eric?
If I understand this, does he still do Kumia's Cucks?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. It's almost as if we rehearsed this. The the bonus episode, is actually called Kumia's Cucks. So they will be examining Kumia's Cucks. And our buddy Husey will say that legitimately he likes the theme song to Kumia's Cucks, which, whatever AI came up with it. So if you enjoy moments like this.
Thank you. Please clap. I force applause breaks.
You should definitely become a member and check out the bonus episode today at 5 p.m. Eastern.
In that clip, did you ever notice what he's standing in front of?
Thank you. Please clap. I force.
So yeah, it looks like here in California, in San Luis Obispo, there's this alley where people just stick gum everywhere, and it's like supposed to just be a thing that you go and see all the gum, and then they scrape it off. So I think Chad found a wall that is covered in gum, not Cardiff's favorite treat, which rhymes.
So
with
that's
gum.
at 5 today, right?
That's at 5 today. Yeah.
So what's interesting to me is the dynamic where, in this whole Dabbleverse, that Chad is on the show with Carl and you for one episode to discuss Stuttering John icing him out of a show. But yet the war still rages on. That was all just a one-off meeting of the minds.
Well, I think that was out of necessity because Trucker Andy was giving us some bad info, and Chad wanted to correct the situation, and I believe that he has gone immediately right back to bad-mouthing everyone since that appearance. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever thought that the whole thing's a work?
Oh, yes. There's the whole world is probably a simulation, and within that simulation is indeed everything in this Dabbleverse being a work. By the way, our buddy Chad's missing upper lip. Zane broke the door coming out of the closet. Now that's an example of, if you send us something funny in the chat, in the poor chat, in the free chat, we will put it up. But why don't you give the hard sell, Eric, and tell everybody what it is that we really need?
Well, as we continue to rise in the ranks of shows on the WATP network, frankly, it has gotten to be such a interesting thing to say something absolutely outrageous and have Christian say it at the end of the show by attaching the highest dollar amount to that. Okay, so if you have him talking about how much he loves Elon Musk and his hand gestures and stuff like that, or whatever it may be, I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, just an example.
Make sure you attach a fine dollar amount to it, high enough so that is the outgoing chat. Because somebody can surpass it at any time with a higher dollar amount with something that they may want Christian to sign off with. Yeah. So there's that. Also, because we're great, you may want to drop a few bucks into our bucket, into our donation plate. That's totally cool. We love that.
We do.
We will only mention it once, maybe twice, depending on how poorly it's going midway through the show.
Yeah, I'll tell everybody right now, if 20 minutes from right now we don't have anything good, we're gonna basically do a steel toe style beg. So don't put us through that. Our buddy Hamilton Burger, Zane's door is like the Detroit Lions, not yet ready for prime time. I don't think that that's a very nice thing to say.
So true though.
Johnny Blaze, hey Eric Zane, I'm erect, buddy. So now that everybody's just trying to hurt you, that's something else you can't do.
That sounds like a tease to me. I like it.
And Chicken Something reminds everyone to like the smash button. We appreciate that. So before we dive into our show, Eric, we do have a quick programming note that once again this year, Eric and I will be joining you for halftime at the Super Bowl with all kinds of fun and surprises. So look for that right here on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. during halftime of the big game. I don't even know if we can call it the Super Bowl. I think we can, but
I think you can. I think as long as we don't have like a promotional thing named after it, like the Super Bowl Super Party or whatever the fuck.
Right, exactly. We don't have anything like that, so we're looking forward to it. And at the moment, we have absolutely nothing planned for it, but it's all right. We've got almost 2 weeks, so it'll be all right. We'll have fun with it. So I wanted everybody to know that. And I wanted to see, there were a couple of things in here that I wanted to make sure we got to. We wanted to shout out Holy Big Mac for making it to a live show. And Wired Christian was kind enough to say hi to all the stream snipers. And Wired Christian also says Carl is waxing off his back hair for his creep off loss. So we appreciate Wired Christian and everybody there. And not any sooner do I shout out Holy Big Mac. $2. Thanks for the $2, Holy Big Mac. A couple of shekels for the boys. Never go full toe. Thank you. You've already made it, so I'm not going to go full toe because we've gotten $2 now. There are weeks where $2 is like half of what we get, right, Eric?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, we've this has been a lean and mean show from the outset, but well, that doesn't matter. I get to spend the part of my day with you and these people. Yeah, I think it's fun. I enjoy it.
Well, we have fun, and there's an aspect of this show that tends to be the most fun. And we've heard your concerns. We know you've lobbied complaints with the boss. You've all been crying to Carl about how we haven't brought you one of these segments in a few weeks. So let's get into it.
WATV, who are these bears? Who are these bears?
It really has been too long. And let's cleanse everybody's palate. Let's set the table by reminding everybody just how fun bears can be. We'll do our best to describe this for our audio audience. Here's a frozen lake. And look, there's bears on the frozen lake just rolling around. Look at how much fun they're having, Eric.
How can they be ferocious? They can't.
I mean, especially with this music, right?
Plucky strings.
I believe this is the music that plays during the intermission of the film The Brutalist. But still, we're getting to see. I don't know. I couldn't be happier. I'm so glad that we celebrate the animal you see on your screen right there. And yeah, those are black bears. But driving down the road in Montana, this driver noticed 4 grizzlies, which, believe it or not, it's a little counterintuitive. The grizzlies are the ones you worry about more than the black bears. I know that some of us might have been conditioned to think that the opposite's true, but they're just checking it out here.
Look at the road. I got 4 grizzly bears running down the road in front of me.
All right.
Big sow and 3 cubs.
So if you look closely, you'll see them over there. And
hit it.
She's not very happy. Look at her charging at me.
Look at her. You're fucking with her, asshole.
Yeah.
She hit the car.
Where'd she go? There she is.
She's like, fuck you.
She is very mad. The only thing that would have made that video perfect, Eric, is if she had circled the car and just dove through the windshield.
It was like she was on the one side of that wire fence, and then she said, all right, I better let him know. Came back and then went back out that fence.
Eric, I want you to be in charge of this, that if I die because I pull over to the side of the road. Well, she realized it could have been RFK Jr. and she thought she should get out of there. Thank you, Dwyer Christian. We appreciate that. If that's how I go, I pull over to the side to make a stupid bear video for this show, and the bear jumps through the windshield while I'm filming. I want you to ensure that you show that on this show.
No, without a doubt. We would be remiss. We would be remiss. Thank you to the Duke of the Delusional. Sent $1.99. Says Christian looks like works with Ted Baxter.
So I would work with Ted Baxter, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the anchor on the old Mary Tyler Moore show. That's Ted Knight.
Yes. He was
the great Ted Knight.
You remember him in Too Close? Was it Too Close for Comfort?
Too Close for Comfort, absolutely.
The fucking cow puppet. He had that cow.
He sure did.
What an asshole.
He was Tukey before Tukey. So, some words to remember when you're wondering about whether or not you should be worried about a gang of bears wandering through your neighborhood. This is also in Montana, and it makes the news if you get a good picture of a bear.
Yeah, thank you, Mitchell. New this morning, large grizzly bears are out and about in Montana. Jamie Gogan posted these pictures 9 days ago, saying their old generator storage shed on Montana's eastern front is now this grizzly's personal scratch tree.
So this is a big fucking bear. This is the reason I'm showing this. I mean, this bear's the size of this shed that he has.
That's the thing. Am I looking at a really small shed or the biggest fucking bear on the planet?
I think a little column A, a little column B. This is a giant bear and maybe a fairly small shed. But the takeaway here is that, as you can see on the screen, this is the NBC affiliate somewhere in Montana. I'm going to assume Bozeman's the only one that has an affiliate. And they mentioned that this gentleman, Jamie Gagan, I don't know, gay guy, Jamie Gay Guy, posted this 9 days ago. So this is news. This is what the big news is. It's like, yeah, this is 9 days old, but people need to see this.
Oh, Jamie's dead by now.
Right, I mean, look how close he got. Yeah.
Fish, Wildlife, and Parks is using the pictures to help teach people how to tell the difference between black and grizzly bears and how important that is. Biologists point out grizzlies are generally larger and maybe bigger even than a small shed like this.
Yes. So it's always important. This is probably something that a lot of our fathers taught us when we were younger. Make sure you're able to tell the difference between the black bears and the grizzly bears. You got to make sure that you know the difference. Now, this time of year is hibernation season, so you'd think that we might be a little lean on bear clips. But from this station in Alaska, they kind of explain what's going on.
Keep an eye out for bears. That is a message from Alaska Fish and Game tonight. Some bears, like the one we're going to show you here, have already been spotted. Typically, Fish and Game reports bears in their hibernation around April, May. But it's not uncommon for them to wake up and walk around. Fish and Game says other factors like age and if they have cubs also impact hibernation patterns. That includes warm temperatures like we saw this year.
Okay. And I don't know what passes.
Like very basic information that anyone who's lived there for 5 minutes would know.
Yeah. And this anchor looks like she spends a lot of time indoors is all I'm trying to say. So I think she's very well suited. Chad's missing upper lip. Easy to tell the difference. The black bears hold their guns sideways. Thank you for that, Chad. I'm a big fan of Chad's missing upper lip. He doesn't like you, but he likes the show, so we appreciate it. Yeah,
like me. What are you talking about? He loves me. Are you kidding me? I didn't notice that. Anything.
I think he does. All right. So I needed to get that piece of information out there because if a bear is wandering around right now, it's going to be hungry, probably for a very large snack.
Close for comfort. 3 bears seen on surveillance video getting into a scuffle with a man and his dogs.
He growled and charged and just latched onto my stomach.
Blake Sprout was bitten by a bear cub.
So I have this for our visual audience. Do you want to describe what that is? The best thing that I could think is a bite from Dracula while former Russian Premier Mikhail Gorbachev rubbed that thing on his head on your stomach. But I don't know. Is there a better way to describe this, Eric?
Well, that's what the blotch looks like. Pale skin with giant red blotch that looks like Alaska, which is a deep bruise, along with punctures. So this is outstanding. This is a walk in the park for this neck of the woods.
Yeah, you would never find me lifting up my shirt on the local news, and so kudos to this guy because he probably shouldn't either, but he knew that was the story. So thanks for giving us this to look at. Let's hear a little bit more about this scuffle.
While trying to defend his dogs. Florida Fish and Wildlife tells us it happened on 14th Street in Orange City back on December 20th.
The bear latched onto you, correct?
Yeah, so he had Karen in his mouth, and I ran up to it, just kind of.
So his dog's name is Karen. I mean, that tells us everything, doesn't it?
It's fantastic.
I kicked it in the chest area to drop her. And
his dog, Karen, was attacked by a cub first as Blake let her outside around midnight.
There were 3 bears in my yard, and my dog saw them and just ran straight for them.
He says he tried to do anything to break up the brawl. Both Blake and little Karen were bitten. Blake with a large wound to his stomach and
So that wound, I guess, must be from the day because it's blurred out. So it must have been more graphic.
Okay.
And then, of course, the dog has the cone of shame, but it seems like the dog's okay.
Karen now in stitches.
She's part of the family. I couldn't just sit there and watch her die. You know, my kids love her. It was right around Christmas time. I couldn't tell them at Christmas, you know, our dog is gone.
Yeah,
Karen
but
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Karen was complaining to the fucking manager of the Bears to get off the fucking property.
Here's the thing. Karen saw that they were black bears and didn't want black bears in their neighborhood.
No.
So Karen did what a Karen does
Yeah.
and tried to dial 911 and take matters into Karen's own hand before anything happened there. So the guy's explaining, I didn't want to have to tell my kids on Christmas that our dog was dead, but it would have been okay if mom had to tell them that I was dead.
My God. So true.
So all's well that ends well for rogue bears wandering through good Christian neighborhoods, spreading their bear diseases and probably littering, but I don't know for sure. So let's see what happens when bears fuck around and find out.
County man is recovering at home after he was attacked by a bear Sunday in Jim Thorpe. A smaller black bear.
By the way, Jim Thorpe is a town in Pennsylvania. It
Right.
just sounds weird. I know not everybody knows that. So the guy's in Jim Thorpe, but it's in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. I just,
yes.
I don't want anybody to be confused.
No, he
And,
wasn't there. There wasn't some guy who he was finger fucking named Jim Thorpe.
Right. Which, he might be open to it. And by the way, everybody who's watching, let me know how you'd feel if this guy pulls up as your Uber driver.
The black bear can be seen on this security camera footage from a home, tackling Andrew Nyer and attacking him on the ground before it was shot and killed by a neighbor.
She came and looked at.
So this guy pulls up in
and
your
then
Uber,
charged
but
after me.
I'm
At
wondering
that
what
point,
people would
it's
think.
either I make a decision on going farther to my house, or him when he has the gun ready if he needs to use it.
He just up and jumped on him and grabbed him by the arm and wrestling him around here. I had no choice but to kill the bear. So
That's a common voice in Pennsylvania. You got to understand, Pennsylvania is on the bad side of the hard living line.
Yeah.
Okay.
The entire state is on the wrong side of the tracks, Eric.
This guy here, he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but to be fair, he started smoking at 4 months. So that's
Right.
probably what did it to him.
This is a Jim Thorpe PA 10 right here. This guy.
He's absolutely, yes. And I think once this guy came on the screen, you probably realized, I'm still playing the video. I'm not going to lie. I love this guy.
that's what I did.
A witness who works at Mason's Cold Beer across the parking lot of Jim Thorpe Market says she saw the bear coming from the woods, run across the parking lot, and go right towards that ramp of the market.
So
how come this reporter isn't being beaten down?
Yeah, well,
he looks like his name is Shivlal, whatever, so from the country of India.
Yes.
How is he not getting his ass kicked by the losers in Jim Thorpe, PA?
Hey, Ravi Shankar, where's your sitar? Something probably very, very well thought out like that. How many times in this guy's life do you think he's been called Aziz? Probably most. So the guy is explaining how bears come down from the hills and terrorize people at the local grocery store. But I do want to finish up with our friend here, the shooter.
Did what I needed to do. I mean, a man's life was at stake. The bear was trying to get to his throat, so.
The bear was trying to get to his throat. And also, that bear looked like he needed some killing. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus, thank God we found Hacksaw Jim Duggan roaming the wilderness.
I saw that there was a super chat. So
yes, that would be Hamilton
on.
Burger through $2 of Canadian money, which is pretty good money.
Yeah.
And writes, Black Bear made furtive gestures, so I wasted him.
Hey, Hamilton Burger, do eggs cost like $11 Canadian up there, or are they actually reasonably priced? You don't have to super chat it. We'll look for the answer on that. All right. So we got to meet that gentleman there. Let's head on over to local news so that we can try and meet someone who might be a cousin of that guy.
WATB, who are these local news? Who are these local newscasters?
So this is one that you sent to me. This is a wise 5-year-old knows that when an authority figure shows up at the door, grab a weapon. And if the weapon doesn't seem like it's going to work, go back and get the other one. I think they'll do a pretty good job explaining the story here.
Happened around 9:40 Saturday morning when a police cadet was delivering a subpoena to a house on Inn Road. A child answered the door with a large kitchen knife. The cadet asked the child to have an adult come to the door and then called for a road patrol officer. When the 5-year-old came back to the door, police say they had a loaded handgun.
Okay. I mean, we don't need any more of this story, but there's something amazing that's to come. But
there is, but I mean, there was a warning on the door because first of all, they make the cadet issue the subpoena.
Yeah.
And the fact that probably the 5-year-old put up these signs that say, "Don't tread on me."
No stupid people.
No stupid people. And there's one that says, "Want to meet God," with somebody holding two pistols. And a "Beware of the dog" sign. But it should be "Beware of 5-year-old." This kid was inspired by Ruby Ridge, and he's ready to defend the fucking ranch.
Yeah, his parents might be Branch Davidians. I'm not quite sure.
Oh my God, I love this kid. Can you if Anthony Cumia had a kid, he'd want it to be this kid.
He would be so proud. It's like, oh, there's a cop at the door. Yeah, that's right. Make sure the gun's loaded. All right.
Then it starts with knife. Cop says, "Go get your parents," and he goes, "All right." And he comes back. He's got fucking a pistol. That's great.
This is the only daddy I need, and he points it right at his face. Yeah.
On scene, a woman and 2 men were found inside the house. They were detained and taken to the police department for questioning. Police say the house was found to be in a, quote, deplorable condition, prompting a call to code compliance officers who condemned the house. 5 children ranging from 8 years old to 6 months old were turned over to Child Protective Services.
Look at that shithole.
By the way, how much do you think that they were excited to have this B-roll of the rusty tricycle in the snow while these neglected children are taken away?
Yes, these kids don't need toys. They've got guns.
Yeah.
And all this shit is on the front lawn. The kids made that mess. They said, "Get all this shit out of here. We want some fucking weapons pronto."
I think that the tricycle was actually just there for target practice, and
God. Yeah.
They took out one of the tires and it just keeled over.
Right.
Old to 6 months old were turned over to Child Protective Services. One of the children was transported to a hospital in Battle Creek and then to one in Kalamazoo because of health concerns.
My grandson.
I spoke to the father of the woman who says she was living with the father of the kids along with the man's friend.
So this is the nut of the story. So we had the guy from Jim Thorpe. Yeah, I think that Burr needed some killing, little Scotty Farrell there. But let's see someone who may or may not be in the same family tree.
He says his daughter had called police earlier in the week.
After what happened with her baby's daddy throwing all of her kids' stuff out and everything, and she happened to get out here and scrape through the snow to find them. They tore the house up on the inside, smashed everything. Everything was smashed on the floor.
While he says more should have been done to
he doesn't sound as fucked up as he looks, actually, except for he actually said whiff her baby's daddy because
somehow
he's got like 4 teeth.
Somehow he has Artie Lang's nose. I'm not quite sure how that happened to him, but it does seem to be the case. I know that he comes back, and you know how much they love the rusty tricycle because they go back to it.
Yeah.
And we'll hear from our friend here as we close this
He's
out.
focusing on gaining custody of his grandchildren.
Oh, no.
I love my daughter. I love my grandkids. I want to see everybody back together as a family again.
Oh.
That's all.
No.
Police are pursuing weapons and neglect-related charges.
So the reason I left this guy, if you have to wear that stupid wood hat, I assume that's the station, WOOD, you shouldn't be outside. You can be inside the police station where it says Battle Creek Police Station, which all I know about Battle Creek is that Kellogg's is there. Is this indicative of Battle Creek, Eric?
Yeah, this is all of Michigan, frankly. This is pretty much it. I can't this is there's a lot of fucking idiots that live in this state. It's like Pennsylvania. Oh God, yeah, it's not good. Not good.
If you had to wear that hat, I assume you'd be like, you know what? Let's just move the operation inside, right? I mean,
yeah, I don't think the police station's probably not even open though. It's not funding or anything.
It's one of those. Yeah,
Mm.
one of those places. Well, we don't spend a ton of time here when we do local news talking about weather, but sometimes the weather is just so crazy in a part of the country you don't expect it. And you have content creators who realize that, this is so crazy, the video is going to write itself.
Investigates snow, Florida. Welcome to Florida. And there is snow on the ground. There's snow on the pavement. There's snow on the palm trees. There's snow on the cars. There's snow everywhere, folks. It's Snowmageddon here in Florida, right at the state line. I'm in a place called Century, Florida, and wow, look at this.
So just saying that there's snow, the one thing he's had is Snowmageddon, but that phrase has been used so many times, like over decades. So if he had coined the phrase Snowmageddon, I'd be like, you know what? All right, we'll excuse the rest of it. But this guy's got nothing.
Well, they go with Snowmageddon or Snowpocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever. I get it. Florida doesn't get snow, but I think you can do a lot better than just pulling over to the side of the road and just observing the snow from your selfie cam. You need to actually do the stakeout and get footage of somebody dying, and that is going to happen. But you got to be patient.
You just got to sit. Yeah, I mean, get a large coffee, sit there, watch it all happen. You know what? Maybe I judge this guy harshly. I'm sure he gets better.
Look at this. Crazy, folks.
No, it's not. That's not crazy or anything. It's a car.
Here you go.
There's an inch of snow on the ground.
And by the way, everyone should subscribe to this guy's channel, Opie Unleashed FLA. That's what this guy's doing. It's crazy, man. You haven't seen anything like this. And look, it is crazy that there's snow in there. Hamilton Burger, only a weekend and Donald Trump has already solved global warming. Thank you, Hamilton Burger.
There's also this one. I missed it. Our friends at BYB Podcast, they write, cool new headband, Gino. How's the hairline? I think this is the same guy suggested that I resemble Gino.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Looks just like Gino. In fact, he's gone on stream as Gino. This is, of course, our buddy Quadfather, who periodically is kind enough to invite me on his show.
Oh.
And then slightly less kind when it turns out Granny is on that episode. But in general, I enjoy chatting with the Quad.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so we appreciate all of that. All right, so that is, the way that this guy in Florida handled it. But I don't know. He's not a professional, Eric. Do you think that maybe I'm just judging him too harshly? Is that really the problem?
No, I think you're judging him appropriately. And but I would love to see more so we can make fun of him.
Well, I don't have any more of him because I decided that, and that video is much longer, actually. So I did want to head on over to the Big Easy because I've never seen footage of it snowing in New Orleans, and I've been there many times. I love that city. For people who know New Orleans, you're looking at an image right there of Café du Monde, which is the famous beignet place that people will wait in line for a long time for. Not that day, so not much of a line there. I did get something from the local news where you'll see some of the footage, but the reason I have this clip is for the locals and the tourists just commenting. It might be a little bit better than, wow, crazy, man.
A fleet of snowplows hit the streets of New Orleans shortly after the snow stopped falling.
By the way, I could not believe that New Orleans had access to snowplows.
Yeah, that's a hell of a mobilization.
I would have assumed they sold them 40 years ago for a 24-pack of Abita because it's like, what do I need this for?
They were more prepared for snow than they were for Katrina.
Well, yeah, I think it's a little easier when the government doesn't detonate dynamite at the levees, allegedly.
And hand shovels also started the process of digging out from a freak winter storm that dumped about a foot of snow across the metro area. Among those venturing out to witness the rare sight were Lee and Karen Albright, who took an evening walk through the French Quarter despite the cold.
My wife and I moved here 2 years ago, Karen and I, and we moved away to get away from cold weather, and that's why we're out walking today. We find we miss the cold weather.
The snow
closed. Okay, so typically they get the old guy, and he's going to like, yeah, where you from? Oh, I know somebody who's from there. Do you know him? Oh, my God.
So the thing that you need to know is that it doesn't usually get that cold there. New Orleans is so hot in the majority of the year that the houses there aren't very well insulated. So I can only imagine it's probably warmer walking around outside in the snow than in some people's homes. But and then you have the tourists who are there. So let's see if they make the best of it.
Armstrong International Airport for the day, causing massive flight cancellations, stranding many New Orleans visitors. This group from California came into town for a 40th birthday weekend.
We came here for good times, clean streets, and drinks, and it's snowing. And they
clean
never tell me that.
The streets smell like piss all the time.
Yeah, just the constant river of piss, shit, and vomit that flows down Bourbon Street. You latched onto the same thing I did. Also, that guy's got slow eyes, if you know what I mean. But in any case, he's like, yeah, we like the clean streets. So to be fair, California is a little bit of a disaster right now.
Oh, no, it is. There's no question.
Maybe the streets are a little cleaner.
No, they're not there for but it's impossible to say they're there for clean streets, you asshole.
Has anyone ever gone somewhere just for the clean streets? Because
That's
if you
so
did,
stupid.
Everybody would go and visit Cardiff up in Toronto. If it's like, well, my only thing on my agenda is clean streets.
It's like 15 years, and this is like totally unexpected, and we were not expecting this. But I mean, it's a good thing to be stranded here.
Some visit.
Is it a good thing to be stranded there? Yeah.
Well, that's really going out on a limb too, saying we did not expect snow in this tropical state.
We did not expect snow in the place that's going to have the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. We were not expecting that.
Visitors took the time to take in the sights. Jackson Square looked like a winter
It does look
wonderland.
beautiful, I'm not going to lie.
This is great. We're loving every second of it.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
Our flight was canceled, so we're stuck here for at least another day. We're hoping tomorrow we can go home, but if not, oh well.
They should go and interview those losers still living in the FEMA trailers. See how they're doing.
So my point is that everybody that they're talking to doesn't seem like they have anything to really get back for,
No.
Everybody's like, yeah, I mean, it would be great if we could get back, but if we can't, so be it.
The people in the 6th Ward are still on their roofs waiting to get rescued.
Well, they do have painted on the roof. Help me. So at least they did that much. All right, that's enough local news and weather. Let's move this ship on over to talk shows.
WATB, who are these talk shows? Who are these talk shows?
And before we dive into the talk shows, is there anything happening in the chat that's worth commenting on?
One thing that our pal Holy Big Mac
love Holy Big Mac. I've never seen Holy Big Mac before today, so we
pointed
appreciate
out
you being
to
here.
the folks that are enjoying the show something about 140 viewing or 132 in the chat and only 33 likes. Please hit the like button.
That's right.
Now, I'm told that that's important.
It is.
I don't know what it does, but I hear everybody else who does this for a living say, hit the like button or you're going to get your shit packed or something. I don't know.
Smash that like button, you cowards.
Okay,
I believe
that would be nice. I guess that does something.
Yeah,
And,
no, it definitely helps. It helps the show up in the algorithm. And Labyrinth Mystic, great to see you here for a live episode. They're tired of stepping in homeless shit in LA. Yeah, I mean, they had a Sacramento Kings hat on, but your point is not lost on all of us. It's when you step on foreign shit in another city, it's at least a little bit more exotic. Chad's missing upper lip. Zane's like button is located up his ass. That's why you showed it to us that one episode. You wanted everybody to smash that like button. All right. So before we dive into our first talk show clip, within our coverage of talk shows, we do have to do a recurring bit on this show.
Extraterrestrials, strange phenomena, missing persons, lost continents, myths, and monsters. We examine these mysteries to determine, are they bullshit or not?
So we're going to take a look at a clip. This is posted by the New York Post. You'll see on the screen what it's going to tease what happens. But this is a mother and son doing a live stream when something goes terribly wrong. And I want Eric, Zane, and everyone in the chat to tell us, is this bullshit or not?
Where is the yellow? Where's the yellow? Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, oh!
The dad's legs are dangling through the ceiling. Insulation with asbestos all over the bed.
You okay? Oh, my gosh.
He's dangling
Oh, my gosh.
through the
Stay
ceiling.
right here. Yeah. Ow. Oh, my gosh. Cody, I can't lift you. You got me? Oh, God. Drop. Just drop. Oh, God.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Let it go. He's on the bed.
Are you okay? Oh, my leg. Oh, my gosh.
That broke our house.
Dad broke our house. Okay.
That broke our house.
Okay, I might need to see just the very beginning of that again.
Sure thing. Yeah, the kid saying "Dad broke our house" twice is it's a little telling, but sure. So here's where it starts.
The yellow. Where's the yellow? Oh God! Oh God!
Okay.
Oh God!
Now, I always have. By the way, she looks like she's got crack whore legs. God damn it! Hit the gym.
Yeah, it does seem like this is the first time in a long time she's yelled, "Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!"
And I don't. The first thing I always do is I try to pay attention. Why in the world would these people be recording with a camera on a tripod?
Yeah,
just for reading, doing something with the kid.
My understanding is that there's a YouTube channel with this kid, but that could also, I didn't do any homework. You know me, Eric. This network, there ain't no fact checking. All right.
Yeah, I think this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I
I want to know what
do.
the chat thinks. I do think it's funny. And look, there's actually, there's insulation coming through the roof, through the ceiling, onto the bed. They definitely made a mess. If I had to guess, they would probably had to put a hole in the ceiling anyway.
That's what I was thinking too. They're going to redo something, and they and if they're in tune with what type of content people will react to, if they already have a channel, and then they do that, that's also very telling. Patrick in South Carolina says, "Bullshit. Why is there a camera conveniently placed there?" And the react seems like bad acting.
And to be fair, the kid says, "Dad, you broke our house," not only twice, both times off camera. So, there might have been some coaching that might have been added
or edited in later on. Yes.
I want to hear from anybody who thinks it's real, but that just reeks of the clean streets of New Orleans.
Right. And I like how Troy says, "I'm with Zane. If he had fallen on the kid, it would have been funny." Yeah, if he actually the child became like a paraplegic.
Yeah. He turned him into Tiny Tim, because Dad was up on the roof and stepped somewhere he shouldn't.
He's like that fucking kid in Game of Thrones who can see into the future, whatever the fuck. Bran, I hate that fucker.
All right, so I think that we have our verdict, and it is indeed bullshit. So we're going to stay in talk shows for our main event this week. Howie Mandel, he has a show called Howie Mandel Makes Stuff. Now, he co-hosts this show with his daughter, Jacqueline Schultz. And recently, a lot of people probably saw this clip, he had Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan on. And this is in a past appearance. Billy Corgan told this story.
Stepmother said to me, "Do you know who Bill Burr is? Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on being a traveling musician."
So, your father was a poon hound and a traveling musician. So he probably fucked Bill Burr's mother because you guys look the same. This went along. This was out there for a little while, sometime I think last month. I think a lot of people noticed the resemblance. I'm not going to lie. I hadn't really thought about it. I'm fully aware of the Smashing Pumpkins, and Bill Burr has made me laugh in the past. So fast forward to this past weekend, Howie Mandel has Bill Burr in the studio for this.
What's up?
Sit down.
You're an asshole.
Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole?
Yeah,
I thought this would be great to bring a family together.
He didn't tell you. He told me you were totally cool with me coming.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
I thought it would be
so
a
then,
good
like,
surprise.
can this be like edited out or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bill hasn't been this pissed since he had Club Soda Kenny kick Anthony out of the club.
I agree with you 100%. And look, we did just do bullshit or not. There's a chance that it's like, okay, everybody knows, but I don't think so because Bill always seems angry. I get it. But the fact that he said, can we edit this out? I love that right there.
You know what? I'm going to disagree with you. I think this whole thing is a goddamn work, and there's a couple of tells.
All right.
I think just because they're bald, they don't look alike. But I mean, Bill's a little buddy, and Corgan is like a giant.
Yeah.
And I think that everything about this is staged. Even the weeks prior was all a work. These two love wrestling, by the way.
Well, yes.
Corgan owns NW, whatever the fuck it
is. ACW. It comes up later in this.
Yeah. So I think they're all into this. And Mandel's done this shit before.
Correct. Yes.
He's done works before with like, what's that fucking Dana White guy?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He sat down and then he left. He's like, you know what? I can't do it. I think we played that clip on this show. All right. Well, whether it's real or not, I think it does pose the question, is Howie Mandel an asshole? And I think that that there does seem to be a decent consensus for this. Earlier, Ed said Bill Burr is the asshole, and he fixed it. But Dwyer Christian made the great observation: Howie Mandel was better on coke and speed. So let's get a little bit more of this initial interaction.
I can go. I mean, you told me Bill was.
All right, fuck it. No, I'll do it. Like, did you ever think the fact that I never told that story, that, you know, maybe you shouldn't? Did you ever, you know how many fucking like emails and crap that I got? Like, I sort of like went away from that.
So let me just fill in. Let me just fill in.
Do we talk on a regular basis?
We've never met.
Yeah. All right.
Billy,
so they've never met before. And Howie, by the way, good instincts on Howie. Yes, he's being an asshole, you know, we have to leave a little bit of room for the possibility that this might actually be real. But if it's not, the players are all playing their parts very well.
Well, yeah. And I heard a lot of people comment about that. In fact, we've got comments here in the chat saying, oh, Bill's really, it's like, he's an actor. Let's not,
Yes.
I mean, it's not like he doesn't do this for a living.
Yeah.
He's a very talented individual. There's no question.
I saw him in that Pete Davidson movie, and I've seen him on Star Wars, so I know he's a good actor.
Right. And most people do not think that this is fake. Most people think that this is real because they did do a good job. But everybody here's got chops except Corgan, but he doesn't have to do the heavy lifting here.
No, he doesn't. But he is definitely a participant.
If you do the math,
he was a piece of shit. And he had two kids this close together, and he named them the same fucking name.
It's one of my favorite points of the whole thing because, of course, earlier in his career, Bill Burr was known as Billy Burr. You know, so they have the same name, and you know, Billy Corgan tries to play along with that.
He thinks it's different because he's Billy and I'm Bill. Like, that's how we told the difference.
Well, I was Bill when I was young, but you're right. I mean, with all respect,
Bill just stares at him.
I just thought,
well, whatever. You know, it's not that I don't like him. It reminds me of all of that shit. So, you know,
it just seems more of the same from what I've been hearing.
And now, so basically what he said is like, yeah, I've heard that your dad's a piece of shit before. And so Bill Burr has this face of like, Yeah, I get to say that. He may not be your dad. I don't know that you get to say that, buddy.
All right, whatever. I mean, I like your music.
Appreciate that.
Okay, great.
Would you? Oh, you know what'd be cool if you let your brother play drums.
Well, the fact that he said he can't sing, I think that sort of disproves that we're related.
So the reason that clip went on as long as it did, because Howie's like, oh, you should let your brother play drums. Sure, Howie.
I think it's a little disturbing that the only person with hair is the chick in that clip. What?
Yeah, that's his daughter, Jacqueline, and she does pop in a little bit. She factors into one of these clips. She does mostly sit there and laugh.
Would prefer if you just kind of didn't go around. No, not telling these fucking stories. Like, why did you feel the need to do that?
Okay, can I give you the setup on all this? Because it's his fault.
You can do whatever you want because you kind of already did that.
Okay, I'm trying to be respectful.
Now you are.
Okay, no, wait. He told me you were cool with me.
You're a Cubs fan? That fucking tracks.
Theo Epstein.
Fucking Wrigleyville. Bunch of cunts. Southside's where it's at.
And again, that's why that exchange is in there. Wrigleyville, bunch of cunts. I did love that. It's like, yeah, that tracks.
I don't know if I'm just too cynical for this.
Yeah.
In fact, I did believe it until Patrick in the chat here. I was talking about this on my show, and he goes, he put it in my fucking head that this is fake.
Yeah. Well, I'm choosing to enjoy it either way. If it's a work, it's a good work.
Yeah, I agree. It is a good work because it's believable what they've pulled off, and they did it. They took their time with it, and I also don't believe that Howie Mandel is just going to lie to Billy Corgan, who's supposed to be somebody he knows.
No, I believe that. I think a comedian and show host would definitely be like, oh, yeah, you should come in. It's going to be cool because you know that you could get the reaction you've gotten.
Building, and the first thing he said to me was, here comes Bill Burr. And I said, do you know that story somehow? He said, what story? So I told him privately that story. Mm-hmm. He said, oh, you got to say this on the air.
Yeah, but he always does that. Because that's the thing. He's bringing in here not because he's trying to heal the bullshit that we went through growing up. He's getting here just for the fucking ratings. I mean, the guy literally accepted a fucking award in the middle of a podcast. I'm supposed to be promoting my special, and he's over here like...
You can do it. March 14th on Hulu.
Like, that's going to help now?
I do love the fact that, so again, if it's a work, it's a great work. It's like, you can do that March 14th on Hulu. By the way, now I know Bill Burr had a new special coming out on Hulu. I had no idea before I saw this clip.
Absolutely. What I'd like to know, and there you go. What I'd like to know is, because I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
At some point, the show has to end. Do they end it right after this?
No. So, but Howie,
all right. Well, now back
Howie posted about 6 minutes of this, and it only feels like I'm clipping out all 6 minutes. Let's try and wind it down, though.
Love your happen. Are we going to go play catch? We're both in our 50s.
My arm is still good. I gotta go. I gotta say.
Do you like wrestling?
Like what kind of wrestling? The real shit, or like the WWE? The WWE, I love that.
Okay, I own the NWA, which is the oldest wrestling organization in the world.
All right, that's I respect that.
He won't come. He won't come to a show, but at least you would.
Would you go to one of his events?
To what? An NWA
event? Yes.
It's wrestling.
Oh, wrestling. Yeah. You know, just
he's busy.
Don't know.
He's busy. He's busier than God. This guy. No. I can't even believe you got him in here. To set this up.
Do you want to?
You set us both up.
I know. Does YouTube give you fucking awards for
setups?
Healing fathers who secretly have two families?
This is some Dr. Phil shit you got going on here.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that you guys should take a moment.
I think we're on the same page, thinking that you're kind of a dick right now.
I think you're a dick too.
What did you have to do with this?
Yeah, you didn't know he was going to do this, right?
And again, I just love that the daughter hasn't said anything.
No.
And then that's some decent instincts to be like, I kind of think you're a dick too. Let's get the final moment from this that I have right here.
This would go someplace. I thought this would go like
I mean, if you'd see the barrage of texts I got this morning, you got to come in. Bill will love it. He's cool with it and the whole thing.
All right, so I'm not upset with you then, because I thought that this was like your idea.
No,
All
he totally set me up.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was more important to bring family
you walk
together.
through the door, how's your
Bring
wife?
family
My wife's
together.
great. How's your...
Yeah, exactly. To bring family together. All right. So I know we've really spent a lot of time on that, but just the individual reactions were worth it to me. I had fun with that. But what's the consensus in the chat? Have they turned against me because now they all think
not
it
at
was
all.
fake?
Not at all. They all believe this.
Okay, that's good. Those are my people.
A lot of them, and it seems like a lot of audience members don't like Bill. And they don't like Howie.
That's true.
And so there's a lot of jumping on individual takes and stuff like that. But no one is outright saying this is fake. Yeah. I'm like the only one that's saying that.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad that people are at least getting, we're asking the important questions. We are, letting people think about it. And, at the end of the day, Eric, we're just here to entertain.
Right. Well, and it's totally cool. I mean, I like that they would even try whether it's real or fake. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I think we have a contingency of people who hate Bill.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you think it's the Anthony thing, or is it just?
I
because
think that
he got
didn't
famous?
help, but he, is certainly a lot further left leaning than I think the Opie and Anthony audience was.
Because all of our audience was at January 6th.
Yeah.
I mean, all these people.
I'm so glad we didn't have a show that day.
Right. And they've all been pardoned. That's why lately we've been north of 120 people.
We do have a lot more people since Trump pardoned everyone.
Because all of these maniacs were pardoned. And now here they are. They're back with us. So
yes,
I'm glad that you all are out.
Yeah, but so Bill Burr, for those who don't know, he does have an African-American wife. So people think that that might be why he has the opinions he has, because he is, he's a guy who looks like that from Boston. They don't tend to usually be the most woke people. So but I don't know. I feel like real, fake, whatever. I think that the big asshole in that clip is Howie Mandel. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. That was a very entertaining asshole.
Yes.
We probably only have one more opportunity ever to use this bumper, because as we turn our heads briefly towards politics, there is a little bit of some tidying up we have to do with regards to this one.
Who are these fires? Who are these fires? Yo, this shit is lit. What I'm saying lit. Just like Public Enemy said in 1990. Burn Hollywood, burn!
And I'm so glad that our stinger for this segment sounds like that, because after we did our episode with a lot of coverage of the LA fires, my buddy Liam McEnany said, "Hey, do you have the clip of Eddie Griffin?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know what this is." And I found it. And this is amazing, because Eddie Griffin's going to explain to you why the LA fires happened.
LA is on fire. Now, a lot of people saying it's to cover up the pedophile trail, and all of a sudden the water ain't working. And hold on, 60% of the water rights is owned by this fucking couple. What's their name? Yeah, the wonderful company is owned by this husband and wife team. They own Pistachio, they own Fiji water. I stopped drinking any of that around the motherfucking globe. Let them motherfuckers go broke. Feeding the pistachios and the almonds all that goddamn water. Meanwhile,
so Eddie Griffin is definitely somebody that shouldn't be on a channel where you're censoring what he says, because they don't do the old beep, but it's a lot of you're dropping out like every other syllable when he's speaking.
I like they have different camera angles, and then he turns to make it the same angle every time.
That's right.
People's houses burning down, dying of thirst and shit. All these sons of bitches. And the regulators who allowed them motherfuckers to own 60% of the goddamn water.
So the reason I'm still playing it is they got all those swears, but then motherfuckers goes right in there.
Did the guy who was editing it just wrap it up for the day and say, it's good?
Well, it's like when you're live and you run out of dump. I think they're just like, all right, we don't got anything else, so we got to keep going.
Fire them motherfuckers too, goddammit. What the fuck is y'all problem? That is public water.
So his point is very entertaining. You can watch more Eddie Griffin, and I am definitely going to be keeping an eye on this show that he does, where I don't want to guess what NNN stands for, but I have a pretty good idea what NNN stands for. It's probably the Ninja News Network.
Yeah, I know the last two are news network.
Yeah.
And then the N is something that all our January Sixers here say regularly.
We celebrate Beverly Hills Ninjas
Yes.
here on the show. So these first couple videos that I have right here, the only sound in them is just airport noise. So California, before the weekend, still on fire. After the rain, still a little bit on fire. But to the rescue, answering the bat signal, President Trump and the First Lady both arrived at the airport, and they did not arrange for California Governor Gavin Newsom to be there, but God damn it, he comes down the stairs and he has to have this exchange with Gavin Newsom. He's shaking his hand. Gavin Newsom's not letting go of his hand. He's still talking to him. And he's like, yeah, I hear everything you say about me, but let's see if we can get some work done and, whatever kind of bullshit there is. And then Melania's shifting in her shoes a little bit because she's like, oh, get right in there. So we showed last week that President Trump did not get a kiss at the inauguration.
No.
Gavin Newsom shows up uninvited at the airport. And by the way, this didn't sit well with Trump because watch his body language.
Oh, yeah.
Melania, get the fuck away from this guy.
Gives her the Dave Schultz shoulder into the boards.
Exactly. So look, I love that. I think it's fun. And Trump does a press conference with LA Mayor Karen Bass.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm gonna let it. Yeah, I'm gonna let it go for a little bit, and then there's a key moment that I have to jump ahead to. But I need you guys to understand the dynamic of the way this press conference is going. Trump's trying to talk, and Karen Bass thinks that people want to hear from her.
To be safe. We want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost
and
a
they
lot.
can,
You
and
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No, no,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family
The people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can
There's
do
not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And,
I do love the way that he's always so heartbreaking, it's so heartwarming, and being able to say like
the charred remains of your dog in the dumpster.
Yeah, by the way, I have no idea why Melania is sitting at this table. There's a lot that you can do as a first lady. You can talk to people. Maybe kids want a hug. I don't know that she needs to.
She's there to lift spirits. Look at her. If she wore a burlap bag, she would be lifting spirits. She is ridiculous. She is the greatest. This is the greatest first lady that we've ever had. And she's never spoken to anyone, ever.
No, that's true. So this goes on for quite a while. And I want you to see what happens during this exchange.
4 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Melania.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and then
I do love this. He's like, no, a week sounds too long, And look, I think they didn't know how heavy the rains were. Maybe they were worried about mudslides, but he's not wrong. A week sounds like a long time.
Her.
Yeah.
And this, he's waited for this day. I mean, this couldn't be more perfect for Trump. The fact that he's a week in, he gets to show up here and with next to these assholes and say, yeah, everything you're doing is fucked. This is first of all, this is all your fault.
Yeah. By the way,
second of all, everything you say, I'm going to contradict because you're shitty.
This is his fourth full day as president.
Oh,
so Karen Bass is still trying to make her voice heard.
not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people
time.
to be safe.
You need to tell her to shut up.
They're safe.
You see
They're
right
safe.
there.
You know what? They're not safe. They're not
Did you catch what happened? Somebody lifted her microphone. I don't know who that is.
in front of their house. They want to go
Well,
to
watch
work
what
and they're not
happens,
allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer.
So I will just spoil it for everyone. She doesn't get her microphone back at any
No,
point.
and she shouldn't. She's
At no
horrible.
point
She
during-
killed all those people.
Well, look, she was on vacation. I mean, what do you want? So this is a fairly quick exchange with California Congressman Brad Sherman, who I looked it up. He's apparently my congressman. He serves the area that I live in, which would include where the Eaton fire was near Pasadena. So he is trying to make a point with President Trump, and I think he gets his point in.
You've talked about policies of California that you're not a fan of, but I've been in Congress for 28 years. I really disagree with Louisiana on their abortion policy. I disagree with them on their campaign finance policy. I disagree with North Dakota on their gun policy. And I would never turn to somebody from Louisiana and say, you keep living on your cousin's couch, because we're not going to help you rebuild until Louisiana agrees with me on a woman's right to choose.
Okay, so he gets a good point in, and that's not what the Trump show's about. So retaliation is swift and plentiful.
Items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little
We're
things
gonna
like
do
water.
that for them.
You know, the party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not.
So pretty quickly, he's like, we're the party of common sense, you're not. And he probably didn't know Brad's name before this, but he knows now.
Help. They're only going to get $43,000 from the federal government, even if they have a half
Well, you
million dollar
did
uninsured
something,
loss.
Brad, where every insurance company in the country left California. That's why you have no insurance, because you made it so impossible. People that think like you made it so impossible. And
Brad, me?
Every
Mr.
insurance
President,
company.
I don't know what
I'll tell you this
about my thinking.
So he's clearly in the crosshairs now. And just to be fair, I will give a little credit to Brad Sherman, because he does point out that the insurance companies left Florida as well.
I have a question, because when they said that about insurance, does that mean you don't have insurance?
Yeah, I had to. Well, I have insurance, but I was dropped by State Farm.
Right. So you had to get. Well, if State Farm dropped, you had to go and convince another insurance company to insure your home?
Yeah, and they did. Most of them didn't want to, so I had to. This is what people tune into the show for. I had to go through AAA, who does my car insurance, and then they have like a third party that'll give you really bad insurance. Even AAA wouldn't insure me. I've been a customer for like 20 plus years, and they're like, yeah, we love you, but we're not going to insure your fucking house. So yeah. So, but this was also an opportunity for President Trump to give us all a lesson in land management.
The trees were okay.
Oh yeah, so he's talking about there was a terrible fire in a town called Paradise when he was president. I saw a documentary about it. I believe that there was a transformer fire that basically destroyed that community. There was stray sparks on a windy day. So he's talking about surveying the damage there.
The trees were okay, because the trees are loaded with water. They suck that water out of the ground, and this was an inferno, just like, I would say, no different than this. And it was also the wind that caused a lot of problem. I mean, you had tremendous winds that there's not a lot you're going to do with. You had up to 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's unheard of.
So the trees are filled with water. So we should just try to utilize that water. And I'm going to give the president a chance to make one more point.
You have like just about as much water as anybody in the country. And we shouldn't be in a position where you have tumbleweed that's dry as a bone, that even tumbleweed can be nice and green and rich and loaded up with water, and it's not going to burn. You don't even have to remove it. It's not going to.
So what we need to do is water the tumbleweeds.
Throw the weeds at the fire, goddammit.
Both of these clips are much longer. But
why don't you actually put a spigot on the tree? And then you can turn on the tree when there's a fire.
Yeah, it's like getting maple syrup out, but it's water.
Yes.
And you know what? Even if it is maple syrup, it might put the fire out.
Oh my
all right.
God. We've done it.
I do love when Professor Trump comes out and he tries to explain how land management works.
Yes,
but
he knows shit.
What the Trump that I love is when he's asked like, "Hey, why did Adam Schiff not make the trip?" He's a senator now. He was a congressman. I know for sure he's my senator. And he's asked why he didn't make the trip.
Senator Schiff to join you on this trip, and he was too busy. Are you disappointed? I don't know. I was told that Schiff was going to travel with us to California. I wasn't thrilled, to be honest with you. And I saw him last night on television. It looks like he got hit with a baseball bat or something. What happened to him? Something happened to him. It looked like he got hit.
I just love that. It's like, yeah, I saw him on TV last night. He looks like he got hit by a baseball bat.
What? Is that right?
He looks fine. I think he looks fine. Maybe he fell down, but I've seen pictures of him. MAGA Ray DeVito with $1.99. Love your show, guys. F Ray DeVito. Thank you, MAGA Ray DeVito. We appreciate that. We appreciate the fact that you love the show. Hamilton Berger, the WATB Army will keep the bumper relevant, CB. Hey, if I get to go back to who are these fires, that's fine. I mean, there will be fires in other places.
There's going to be another fire one day, and I think that's awesome. And that's something we can look forward to. I mean, we've gotten a lot out of this fire from Steve Guttenberg, that song, all of these incredibly awkward moments. The mayor gets her mic taken away.
Yeah, and let's close out our fire talk by let's focus on the fact that, as Eric pointed out, Trump's been president for a week, and Trump derangement syndrome has definitely had the paddles put on it. It's back. It's full blown. There's anger. There's fury. It's only been a week. I think everybody needs to pace themselves. And just in case you're thinking how much better this would be if Trump hadn't won, I would like to show you this from an LAFD fire station in the Pasadena area.
Who, in the face of that stranger, they see a neighbor. These are folks who understand the strength and the value of community, which is everyone coming together with a shared sense of purpose and identity as a community of people. And I wanted to come by, most importantly, to thank them, those who have volunteered and have brought people together and have sacrificed so much, and our firefighters. And I mentioned to these firefighters the fact that California firefighters, time and time again, prove themselves to be the best.
Yeah, the firefighters are great.
I don't know.
What else is she talking about beyond that? This is the 8th time I've heard this clip, and I still don't know.
Yeah, it's that whole lots of words. It's just no substance. It's just like a BS machine. And if I'm her, if someone says, "How about you go to California?" I would say no. What the?
Well,
no.
I think they have a home. I think their home is here.
I still wouldn't even if she's next door to that fire station. I wouldn't have done that. I would just stay. Who gives a fuck at this point?
Well, we'll stay with the second couple as we sort of pull out from fires and mosey on over to this.
Who are these politics? Who are these politics?
So Jesse Waters was looking at some video footage the New York Post had of former Vice President Kamala Harris and former second gentleman Doug Emhoff at the supermarket. And he asked a question that if this were a morning radio show, Eric, we'd get 2 hours out of this.
Caught her grocery shopping with Dougie Fresh. What kind of husband goes grocery shopping with his wife?
Uh-oh.
I'll answer that. I don't necessarily go with my wife, but I do almost all the grocery shopping because I want to get out of the house.
You and I are fucking the same because I don't leave this goddamn shack because I'm here all the time. Chitter chatter, talky, woo, 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 podcast. Well, if I can get out of the house and see some of the ugly fucks that live in my neighborhood, I'm like, it's so much entertainment. It's like I like to go to the really rough places to grocery shop.
Yeah,
just you
go where that 5-year-old with the loaded handgun grocery shop.
Oh my God.
Well,
no,
probably
I
grocery shoplifts, if I had to guess.
without a doubt. Without a doubt. So that is definitely me. Jesse.
So like I said, there are a lot of people out there, probably not in our chat, that there are a lot of people who aren't happy with Trump, but it's hard to see this footage of ICE literally on day one and not think like, I think I kind of like what they're doing there.
Teen gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder. And he has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent.
By the way, I don't know what aggravated murder is. I think murder is fairly aggravated in and of itself. So when it's aggravated, it's like, oh, so he's really bad. So they're doing a ride along with ICE. They have some of the worst of the worst, some of the worst criminals around. This is in the Boston area.
Threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti. One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
So, fuck Trump. Thank Biden. Thank Obama for everything he did for me, bro.
This is outstanding that this footage, because this is what Trump's been talking about. Now, I mean, sure, there's 100 people unloading from a military jet in Colombia, and 99 of them are hardworking migrants, and one stole a 12-pack of beer. But still, we have the footage of the one who really is the big fish. So that's okay. You know,
So
I mean,
we got this guy, and he says he's not going back to Haiti. So this video is played for the border czar, Tom Holman, and he has a very quick response.
Video, I'm curious, what do you think?
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti. I tell him that.
I love that. He's like, no, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti. By the way, I know I don't usually do a lot of research. He did go back to Haiti. And
is that
he's
guy
there
that
now.
was just saying that? Is he from Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, by the way?
Yes, he might be from Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. I wanted to. Oh my gosh, Labyrinth Mystic with $6. I do believe that is our highest dollar amount for this show.
Yeah,
you guys have been nickel and diming us, but we appreciate nickels. We appreciate dimes. Labyrinth Mystic, change that intro. That baguette with an F. Carl ain't ever coming back. That's not true. He was on with Hack Ride. He comes on a couple of times. A Howie Mandel sized arsehole. WATB crew, laugh it up and hit the like button. Thank you, Labyrinth Mystic. I feel like I'm going to be reading that one again. If that is our high dollar amount, I'll read the word that you wrote, the word for baguette. And Liam says you don't have to look too hard for a shitty part of GR. Is Liam talking about Grand Rapids?
I think so. He's right. He's right.
Liam, you missed your, well, maybe you saw it, but we had the Eddie Griffin clip that I shouted you out for sending it. All right. I want to tidy up. We had a kind of a great reveal on our show last week where our buddy Peter Ducey asked President Trump, hey, did Biden give you a note? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Hey, look, it's right here. So Hannity asks President Trump about this.
You know, it was interesting. A lot of people thought it was sort of like a setup with Peter Ducey and myself, and I have a lot of respect for Peter. But he just asked me a question about the letter, and then I remembered that, you know, it's like a custom. You leave it right in the drawer of that beautiful desk right alongside of us. And so I opened it up, and I actually gave the letter to Peter.
And did he got to read it?
I guess.
No, he threw it away, asshole.
He posted it on Twitter. It's not.
What do you think? That's a stupid question.
Thanks, Sean. But Trump's just like,
You don't know if you read it?
Just sent it.
Yeah, he's like, I just gave it to Peter. I don't give a fuck. It's just like, it's basically like, hey, I'm praying for you, is what Biden said.
Which
you know?
I always hated that.
Yeah.
When people say that to me, because that's a very vague way. It's a general way of saying, you're an asshole. I'm praying for you.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're going to fuck this up. So hopefully God steps in.
Yeah. Whenever people say that, I was like, save it. I don't want them. You keep them.
We're going to steer the ship on over to who are these sportscasters?
Move! Who are these sports? You know what I'm saying? Who are these sports? Let's see who's playing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, I don't know what's society.
I believe that jingle will be featured on a future episode of 100 Songs That Define Heavy Metal. Holy Big Mac, $10. Fight me. Looks like that's going to be my sign off. Thank you, Holy Big Mac. I'm sure these cowards don't have it in them to give $10.01 or even $15 or maybe $20. I know you guys are scared to give us that much money because we give you so much show. You feel like you don't deserve it. Well, you do deserve this much show, and we deserve the money. But thank you, Holy Big Mac. I appreciate you being there. So there is a lot to talk about in sports. We'll get through as much as we can before we run out of time. I do need to always credit the great account on X back after this, AFTA this. That's my source for all Mike Francesa clips. I have a Mike Francesa clip, but as with anything, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world of sports or in the world. Mike Francesa will always start off his show talking about Mike Francesa.
Explain this very prominent bandage on my forehead.
He's got a big Band-Aid on his forehead.
Okay. I took Harrison back to school today, and it was a very cold, windy day. And when I got to school, I was reaching into the trunk to take out a couple of these bags that he had, because he was putting his stuff back in the dorm, and the wind blew the trunk down on my head and cut my head open.
So I don't think we should stalk anyone, but I just wish somebody would follow Mike Francesa around so that we had video of the trunk.
Yes, I mean, that's an outrageously hilarious moment that was made humorless by this fucking idiot.
Well, yeah, that's why we rely on back after this to bring these to us. But I know what you're thinking. All right, Mike's got a Band-Aid on his head. But what did he think of the inauguration?
Melania is stunning. She has, great clothes. She's a beautiful woman. I did not like her hat. And I usually like hats.
I just love, and I usually like hats, but that was not a good hat. So we appreciate Francesa giving us that. So this next clip comes from you, Easy. I don't think we need to set it up in any way. This is a guy who got the opportunity to win $20 grand by taking a free throw from half court at an Oklahoma City Thunder game.
Yes, sir.
So let's take a look at that.
Center, this just happened. One of the in-game promotions. Yeah! He got the bounce from half court. 20K in his pocket, Mike.
My goodness. Wow. And black hair.
You look at like the excitement, because that's a difficult shot, first of all, folks. You got to.
And look, I think that this guy has every right to celebrate that, especially because it sounded like a doink. It sounded like it was going to bounce out, and instead it bounced in. So
yes.
I love how excited this guy is.
It was a lucky roll, and that is the most exciting thing in the NBA in the last 10 years.
Possibly ever. When did Jordan finally retire from the Wizards? That's probably it. But I know what you're saying. And our visual audience is seeing this guy is just literally having the time of his life. So this next clip is also from you. Oh, you're going to make us do math again, Ange?
Sorry. Is 200 kroners? Isn't that $14?
I think we got 400 last week, and that was 43.
Well, that would still.
So I think this is still the high dollar amount, and we appreciate Ange for letting me bully them into not being a coward. So the next clip is also one you sent me. I don't know what the setup is that we need for this UFC clip, but in the ring, it is largely visual. But we will do our best to describe just the horrific thing that happened.
Hyder Khan's got his attention.
Oh! So the guy in the right, Khan, he's fighting a guy named Nada. So he kicks him in the arm.
Obviously, Hyder Khan's got his attention.
You hear that sound
when
he kicks. Yeah, let's listen again.
Obviously, Hyder Khan's got his attention.
Oh, what?
Broken arm, perhaps. And there it is. There's a bend in the forearm where there's not supposed to be for Mustafa Nada.
That's a fully broken arm.
And that does look like a Tim Fit
There
break.
it is. It's like a down block. He tried to down block it, but you can see how he's holding his wrist straight away. He feels that instability. One of the bones, at least, in his forearm is broken. Oh, both of them.
That's both.
Both of them. Man, look at that.
What a powerful front kick from Hyder Khan.
And then he snaps it back in.
It looks like, about 1 minute after you get jizz, when your dick is kind of like starting to lose it.
Yeah.
That's what his arm looked like.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you can remember. I'm glad you can remember what it's like to jizz, by the way. We appreciate that. So this one, and I know that some of the audio has been iffy, that these clips sounded louder, some of them, but this one is noticeably terrible, but I couldn't find it anywhere else. So this is an ACC basketball game. I believe it's Duke, NC State, and you do have to watch what's happening in the left corner of your screen. So we see just regular gameplay, and over there, just somebody just pukes right on the court.
Wow, that is awesome.
And
you know how they it's just pure liquid. It's gonna take forever to clean that up.
It's just all liquid. Yeah, exactly. That one's gonna take a minute, Eric, I think.
God, that is just
so
amazing.
Yeah.
God, what a blast.
The beauty of video is that we can make him inhale it again and just show it to us one more time. All right. I hope everybody had lunch already, Eric.
My God, outstanding. Outstanding. Hey, help me out. So if 1 kroner is equal to 89 cents, so I just said 200 times 0.89, yes? No.
That sounds right to me. Somebody correct me if that's wrong. I was told there would be no math.
Okay.
But all right. So I think that's our winner. But you know what'll make it easier? Somebody just throw down $50 and then you know what would be cool? If everybody watching right now all gave $5. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be cool? Streamlabs, Venmo, PayPal, memberships, gifted memberships, Rumble rants. We welcome all of those. So the Las Vegas Raiders have a new head coach, Pete Carroll, and this is his first moment addressing the media, and this is what the next few years are going to be like for him.
We have a good draw for people from out of town. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
So literally just now,
did you hear who that was?
It was Marshawn Lynch. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I did hear that, but it's just basically what it is going to be there. So I got we'll talk a little bit about the football before we go. The Eagles Commanders game, to say that it wasn't close is a little bit of an understatement. So I'm just going to play the excitement from Kevin Burkhardt and the almost sign of life from Tom Brady, the first score that the Eagles have. They're down 3-0 very early in the game. They would go on to score 55 points. But let's hear the excitement for this.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it. Saquon Barkley, first down.
Spins around.
Oh! Saquon, touchdown.
And did you hear Tom Brady in that clip?
No.
Yeah, because he barely says anything. Yeah, it's he's calling the Super Bowl, everybody. So he'll probably be ready for a break from the coverage. And
I know that sometimes
show.
Play-by-play guys get sensitive to that shit. Like multiple people talking at one time.
Yeah.
I think that happens quite a bit. So I don't know. I like Brady. I think he's great on there. But a lot of people don't. But I'm anxious to see how he does in the Super Bowl.
Everybody's going to be watching, so we'll see and make sure that everybody watches our halftime alternative show right here on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. We'll be doing our second annual halftime show. So There was another football game over the weekend on Sunday, and we're going to cover the AFC Championship in the only way it matters. What did Taylor think about it?
Certainly knows what cheering crowds are all about. And let me tell you, here in Kansas City, it is commonplace indeed. Back here in Kansas City, the celebration continues for the AFC champion Chiefs, who defeated the Bills 32-29.
Yeah, so Taylor heads down to the field with her just, her mom looks like a good worker. She's got a strong jawline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about Kelsey's mom?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she looks like she could stack wood. She's that type. I mean, she is, come on.
Yeah, so here's really taking in the fact that the Chiefs are on the verge of a three-peat by standing there, and here's Taylor with mom and, of course, Brittany Mahomes. And I'm using this one because pretty sure that's a Nazi salute in 2025.
No!
But we don't worry about it anymore.
No, we don't care about that.
If Brittany Mahomes was doing it by herself, I think that would have become the narrative.
Yes. These people are Nazis. We know that.
I mean, look, it would explain a lot, I think, about Taylor. So here they are. And look at that. They're hugging. They did it. Eric, they did it. And they're singing. I mean, this is their moment, isn't it, Eric?
It must be weird to live a life like that where there's a camera in your face all the goddamn time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're Brittany Mahomes, who now you're kind of forced to be best friends with the most famous woman in the world. So now everybody's really paying attention to you,
Yeah. That's weird. God, I hope they lose, but they're not going to lose. They're going to win.
I can't imagine.
No, there is no way in fuck that they are going to lose this game.
No, because the town of Philly is the whole area is going to come out for this team.
You all say E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Bird!
I think there was 2 misspellings in there. That was so
she got it wrong a few times. And,
started with E-L.
Yeah, the Eagles fans would have been lucky if Trump had her microphone taken away before that. But so obviously it was a big game for Taylor and Brittany Mahomes, but mostly for Taylor. And we do get to see just how happy she is. And Travis Kelce. Jesus, he's a big guy, and
but she's like 6'8" or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, because she's not small, And shout out to the Kansas City Star for providing this footage. I think that we'll see what we get out of the Super Bowl, but again, don't forget to tune in for our halftime show. I do have one thing that we kind of neglected the last couple weeks. So let's very quickly spend a moment here for some great moments in broadcast history.
Who are these broadcast history? Who are these broadcast history?
So it came to pass that early in the new year that we lost the great Bob Uecker, the legendary Bob Uecker, and making the rounds a little bit was his final call, his final sign off from his last baseball game, and I could have very easily found that it was a bit of a heartbreaker when my New York Mets walked off the Milwaukee Brewers, and my buddy EZ right here, who you see, he had some insight. He heard something from that clip. I just heard the pained exhaustion of a guy who'd really just had his heart broken for maybe one time too many. So I want to revisit us. We don't usually do things this meta on this show.
This has never happened.
We've never shown us before.
Right.
But so here I am playing the sign off from the final Milwaukee Brewers game that Bob Uecker called right here on our show. And it'll play in a second.
Well, New York, down. They did it. And the crew will have it end here tonight.
Really a crushing end to what was a fabulous season for the Milwaukee Brewers.
I'm telling you, that one had some sting on it.
You get the other guy be like, yeah, but it was a great season. He's like, yeah, that was awful. That's one of the most crushing losses in the history of this franchise.
In his 90s?
He is in his 90s, yeah. And you hear it, but I love that he still does it.
But he's still pretty tight.
Yeah.
Still pretty tight.
You want to hear tight? Listen, after that moment where I paused it.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball has been brought to you in part.
He just goes right into the ad read.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's Brewers.
I can hear the. You're starting to get that thing going, which happens when you're like dying. Yeah. So it's called the death whistle. I didn't know if you knew it was called that. That's absolutely
true.
I
actually didn't know that.
No, it's not. I'm making that up. But anyway, he's got a whistle.
He does have the whistle. So Easy, you did point out the simple fact that he had the death whistle right there.
Look, that might be. We could probably say with some confidence that if anyone happened to review his final call, that would be the only one that said he's about to die.
Well, I did say on my podcast, the Blackcast, BLADTCAST, I did say that I played that back on that show, and I said, I'm pretty sure we killed him. I was pretty sure the Mets killed him. I thought I said it on this show, but then I thought what you said was funnier. So I wanted to give you the credit for the death whistle. No. I think we could kind of all see that moment was coming. So look, there are some tremendous compilations of hysterical Bob Uecker moments. His Hall of Fame speech is very funny, but I just wanted to pat ourselves in the back for going, ooh, he's probably got 3 months, maybe 4.
That's a death whistle.
Eric Zane predicting the death whistle for Hall of Famer Bob Uecker. So we appreciate that. That's a strange moment in broadcasting history. So what did we figure out with all this money? So Cool Cut Casting with $1.99 says Eric Zane is a home of sexual lib. I know what he's trying to say. And look at this. Holly Big Mac just comes back with $5 more.
Okay.
And Holly Big Mac says, you guys ever watch slap fights? So
I have.
It's singular. It's singular super chat. It doesn't.
Yes, she did contribute. I'm assuming that's a lady, but I don't know for sure. Could be.
Yeah, we never really know, do we?
Threw $19 at us. So that's amazing. But the one person with the kroners, that amounted to $17.74.
Oh man! So technically, Holly Big Mac did actually give us more money, and because Ange just gave us 200 kroners, which we absolutely appreciate.
Incredible!
We say thank you so much.
Soul.
Yeah. So I guess we'll maybe use, we'll figure out a different way for me to actually sign off because Holly had a few things in there and we appreciate it, Holly. I think it'll probably just be that one because that was her high dollar amount. But thank you to everybody. Thank you to Eric Zane. Eric, I feel like people watching right now haven't had enough of you. So how do they get more of you?
Oh, well, I mean, you can never have too much me. So if you want to check out my daily podcast, it is live on Twitch Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and then Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern on Twitch. So if you're on Twitch, just search Eric Zane Live, all one word, and then just hit the follow button, and you'll know when I go live. So there you go, at Eric Zane Live, all one word on Twitch.
And my personal podcast is the Blackcast, BLADTCAST. We just posted an episode where a group of us spoke with screenwriter Daniel Waters, responsible for writing the films Batman Returns, Heathers, Demolition Man, Hudson Hawk, and the film we discussed with him, the greatest film from the year 1990, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, starring the great Andrew Dice Clay, a film that I carry around the cassette of the soundtrack in my car because I have a tape deck. So you can check that out over there. Go to whoarethese.com to find the phone number, and please leave us a voicemail. It's been a minute. We haven't gotten any in a while. And while you're there, don't forget to get your tickets for Hackamania. Back to the hack, hackamania.com, promo code WATP for 10% off. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a bonus episode for YouTube members and Patreon members coming up at 5 o'clock today. They'll be checking out the Mud Shark. So see that right there, right here on this very channel. And also one last promotional message for halftime at the Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. We'll be doing something special on this channel. Hopefully I'll have something to tease next week, but I don't yet. You know how it is, Eric.
Well, we'll have, because the network is showing Kendrick Lamar and SZA is on it too. And who knows who else. You know how they oftentimes they have those two, and then all of a sudden Tony Iommi will make an appearance. And everyone's like, oh my God,
that'd be amazing if Tony Iommi made an appearance. I think people are a little bit more interested in the halftime show because they're wondering if he's actually going to be able to call Drake a pedo on the Super Bowl halftime show. If he's going to,
I didn't know there was a beef. There's a beef.
Kendrick.
Okay. I don't follow that, but so
you don't know that there's a beef between Kendrick and Drake.
Wow.
I mean, we're already over time. I can't believe you don't know this. It's amazing. The short of it is it went back and forth, and finally Kendrick dropped a record where they basically said that Drake is a pedophile, and that kind of ended it right there. And that song is huge. It's called Not Like Us, and it was the biggest song of last year. It's expected that he will perform it, but there's some choice language. And,
well, now I'm happy that you caught me up to speed. So, pedophile song aimed at Drake called "Not Like Us."
But nobody needs to watch that because they should.
No,
watch
I do.
instead.
I'm
no.
not doing the show. I'm not going to do the halftime show. I want to see that.
Well, we're recording it ahead of time, so you'll be on it. So it's fine. I'll be there to read super chats, and I'll probably keep all of them.
Oh, no, I'm kidding.
No, it's fine. All right. So Holly Big Mac came back with another one that's drop links. So Holly Big Mac is just just really giving us as much money as YouTube is going to let her.
That is,
and we should definitely watch some slap fights. In any case, this is way past all the time we have for now. So as always, this is Christian Bladt reminding you, every mic is a hot mic, but fight me. We'll see you next Tuesday.